Just like all the other times we've done this event, we're going to hang out here and wait about 2 minutes this time, running a little bit late today. We're going to start right at 6 o'clock, and today we are talking about why listings don't sell. So we're going to look at listings that are having trouble. So stay tuned, and we'll talk about that. Lost where my button is to hide. While we wait. Embarrassing. Let's see. There we go. Now there's about 1 minute left, so this will be about right. Awkward. 1 more minute. All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome. So, sorry for the awkwardness. I didn't realize that it turns off automatically. We're still learning the platform. But today we are going to be going over. Am I echoing here? Am I echoing here? That's the problem. We're going to be going over listings, why they don't sell, and how you can do it better. So, the purpose of this is, first of all, if you are a buyer or a seller, and you have a listing that you want to have us look at, more than happy to do that during the stream. We can take a look at why it's selling or why it's not. You don't have to change real estate agents or anything like that. It's just to help you. A lot of times buyers want to see why a listing isn't selling and that kind of stuff. And we're also going to look at what agents should be doing so that they can sell the listing for more or for their goal price they're having trouble with. And the purpose for that is to help you look out for deals that might be a really good deal because they are being marketed poorly, or to help you sell your home for more. So when we do this, we're typically going to look at for sale by owners unless someone has a specific request. So today I want to talk about probably one of the more weird and obscure types of listings first. And then we'll dig into some houses and see why some houses aren't selling. But before we talk about houses, let's take a look at let's see, where's my button for this? We want to go with this guy right here. And we want to share screen for this. Share. All right, that'll work. Will that work? I don't know if I like that one. I kind of like more when we're like this. There we go. Picture in picture. That's much better. Make it a little bigger. So when we're looking at listings and why they don't sell, one of the number one categories of listings that have a hard time selling are vacant land. So what's wrong with vacant land? Well, first of all, building is really, really hard. But they're also really tough to sell because the value's low and people don't put the work into them. And I think that a lot of sellers don't understand what the value in really is, and so they market it poorly. So in this case, we've got this property out here in Simi Valley, 2622 track 6, number 261. And when we look at it, the first picture is like, what are we looking at? We're looking at kind of like which side of this fence is even the property? You know what I mean? Then we get into the pictures and you kind of get, again, like, what are we looking at? I guess we're on a hillside, probably. There's water going through the middle. So as far as I can tell, we're attached to the back of this fence. Picture of the sky. Not professional pictures. And this is kind of where the best part of the picture is. Now, if it was me, I would probably do a Google Maps sky view and draw it out on there. Or even if you're looking at the county map, I believe you can make it a satellite picture. So at least people can kind of get a better sense of what the heck is behind this property. And again, for this property, it seemed like a good idea at the time, but now that we're really looking at it, it is more narrow than the houses next to it, right? And it is connected to the road, so it's not landlocked, not the end of the world, but it's on a slope. So probably never going to sell. But how can we make this listing better? Well, out the gate, the thing with vacant land is there's no door, right? We're not doing showings. We're not really worrying about any of that kind of stuff. So we want to take some really good pictures and videos so people can get a sense of what the location is like. A picture like this gives you no sense of what the heck is going on here. So we really want to get an aerial view. We really want to get some satellite pictures, and a 3D tour would be amazing. Let people walk through the property before they even get there, right? That way we're having way fewer showings, hopefully basically no showing, especially for something in this price range or lower. And also we are really helping people get a sense of the property without going, because most of the people that are going to be interested in vacant land are going to be builders, developers of some kind. Even if it's a person that wants to develop it themselves, they are a developer, right? So when you're dealing with developers, these are busy people. These are business people. They don't want to come out and screw around looking at something that is pointless, right? They want to look at this and figure if they want it or not right now before they even go, okay? So to sell this, again, 3D, satellite pictures, and sky view pictures. If we get those up, that'll make a huge, huge, huge difference. And then also when we're looking at this, for the property description, it's investor special, seller financing available, which is cool. Beautiful piece of land at Indian Hills, which is fine. But the thing is that when you're buying or selling land, there's a couple of really important things here that are missing. Can we get utilities, power, water, plumbing, right? Is it on septic? Are the neighbors on septic? Well, we need plans for that. So when we're looking at this, it's on a slope. Bummer, it is mentioned in the listing. But the top questions anyone's going to ask, can we get plumbing? Can we get sewer? Can we get septic? Have any of those plans been drawn out? What would all of that cost? That should all be here, because a builder is going to want to know that right away. Now, if they have to find it, it's not the end of the world. A lot of them will figure it out on their own, right? But that's going to be the first thing they ask, and most people will not even offer on a property without knowing the answers to those questions. Uh, you know, that's going to be the bulk of it. Again, marketing, we can always talk about if the price is right, but this is a weird lot. It doesn't really look buildable based on the last picture. Maybe we might be able to squeeze something in this space here, maybe, but there's a lot of work to do there. But I think that if they just make the adjustments that we're talking about here, and the better marketing and the better wording and all the important stuff being thrown in, I think that'll make a world of difference, and they'll make a lot more money on this sale. So let's see. And by the way, guys, like I said before, if you have any questions, put them down in the comments down below. And we're happy to discuss any specific properties or any specific questions. And if you're watching this later, feel free to drop in questions, comments, all that kind of fun stuff, and we will address it on the next live next Sunday, every Sunday at 6. So if we dig into the next property and see why it hasn't sold. When we look at Ventura County, I think we looked at this one last time. When we look at Ventura County, we're going to try to look at for sale by owners that are just hitting the 30-day mark if we can, because we're doing this every, give or take 30 days. So did we cover this listing? I think we did at 38 days. So let's take a couple minutes and look at, I think we looked at that one too. Let's look at this newer one. So one of the things I'm saying here is that listings that are having trouble selling. And I recognize this listing has only been on the market for 17 days, right? So it's not a super stale listing, but I want you to understand that in this current market, there's no inventory. We're having bidding wars, we're having competition. So a home that's listed properly is going to get a bunch of competition. There's going to be just craziness. One of my mentees, I'm a mentor, I help teach other real estate agents, just lost a bidding war. They offered asking price on a home for 1.1 million in Los Angeles, and they were outbid by multiple offers over 1.3. So we are seeing just as much craziness as we did the last several years, and anything on the market over about a week, there's something funny. So let's look at this one on Laverne. What could we do to help this property owner to sell this property? Well, like we always say, we're going to start with the pictures. Well, yeah, let's start with pictures and then work our way into the actual listing. The picture is grainy and small. It's not great. We always need a good first picture. We're going to say this every single time we have one of these meetings. People that look at a home will look at the first picture. If they like the first picture, they'll look at the other next 2 or 3 pictures. If they like the next 2 or 3 pictures, they will look at all of the rest of the pictures. So right now, when we look at our first picture, it's grainy. We've got the RV here, which is cool to kind of show if there's RV parking. I think there's better ways to do that. The angle, this is not a good picture. It doesn't make you want to look at the rest of the pictures, right? So we need to get a good picture. The camera probably needs to be elevated enough to get more of a top-down view. Maybe like a drone wouldn't hurt, but as long as the camera is up, like you get on a ladder and probably get the right view for this, right angle for this, because we want to be able to see the front a little bit better, and we want to probably do something about these plants, cut them back a little bit, and be able to see the property. Because this picture is not going to convince anyone to look at the next couple pictures. Again, the next 2 or 3 pictures need to be the most valuable features of the home. We're still dealing with grainy pictures, and I'm just going to go, yeah, all the rest of the pictures are grainy. So we want higher quality images that make people excited. But is the backyard and the pool the big draw for our clients looking at this home? It might be. I don't think this is an awful second picture. Pools are great. It's got neat back patio space. It would probably turn off people with dogs because we don't really have grass, which will get rid of some of our buying pool here. We definitely don't have anything around the pool, so people with little kids, again, will probably kind of be turned off by that. But overall, it might be one of the better features of the home, so I'm not going to say that this is a horrible picture to put up there. But I definitely think they need to take some measures here to make the home friendly for a lot of buyers, because most of our buyers out here, especially looking at a 2-bedroom, because I think this is 2-bedroom, 1 bath, so starter house. People looking at starter houses definitely have dogs, definitely have brand new babies, right? So again, front of the house, maybe this should be the first picture, maybe. Again, scoot it back a little more to kind of get the whole house in it. And now we're getting some weird pictures. So by here, you're probably going to lose people because they just want to see the inside of the home. Not really sure what this is. It's not really in any of the pictures. So we kind of have this weird plant nook that hard to get a feeling for what we're looking at. Screenshot of all of the pictures in their album. Front door. So again, by here, you guys are probably bored, right? For retention, our clients that are looking at this, you as buyers, you as consumers, are like, get on with it. Same with everyone else. So now that we're in the house, again, we want to try to get good pictures. Usually the money pictures, the money rooms are going to be kitchens and bathrooms. Those are the biggest, best looking rooms. Because like bedrooms, who cares? It's like 4 walls, right? There's nothing in there. Living room, kind of same thing. Maybe you have a cool balcony or something that you can picture. But for the most part, kitchens, bathrooms, what you want to put up first. When we open this up, we immediately just see, table, which is fine. They need some paint. Now, you see, when we see this, my immediate reaction is I don't hate it. but I know my clients do. I know that the missus sitting at home, if she's watching this right now, is telling me how much she hates it. So, great room. It does need to have, again, better quality pictures. It does, need to be updated a little bit, but the paint and the decor here is probably going to work against them. It does say CRMLS on the bottom, so it looks like this is an old listing picture. So hopefully it's been updated. But overall, these pictures they need a lot of love. They need higher quality. We need better angles. It's a huge bed, takes up the whole room. Another thing to keep in mind is people don't want to see your personal stuff. Whatever your faith is, whatever your family is like, get all your personal stuff off the walls. You don't want people thinking about that when they buy the house, right? Because some stuff like changing the kitchen, that's not really viable, but taking the paintings off the walls is. And again, clearly not a pro photographer. We really want a wide angle in this bathroom so we can get a better sense of everything that's in it. Most people, when they see a picture like this, are going to feel kind of cramped. And this is something that I actually select my photographers over. It's one of the biggest criteria. If someone is getting bad angles on their pictures, they're not going to work with me because this just isn't going to fly. People can't get a good enough sense of what the heck is going on in the bathroom. But this should probably be we should probably do the front of the house, maybe pool, maybe this bathroom, maybe the kitchen. And those should be the top like 4 pictures you're really shoving to the front. And then everything after that should be kind of like going through the house in order. More backyard pictures. So overall, pictures need some work. And if they update that, buyers will be much more interested. I think most people are going to be skipping over. That's so interesting. I didn't even notice the jacuzzi in the first picture. Am I crazy? Oh, I guess it is there. Didn't even notice it with the way it's all grainy and stuff going on. So, jacuzzi, nice, decent little house. Again, we're not going to talk too much about price, but when we're listing, you have to keep in mind the price ranges that people are looking for, right? So let's assume this estimate's right. It's not always right. So we're in the right ballpark. But you have to keep in mind that most people are searching for 800 to 900, 850 to 950, right? People are almost always using round numbers, and they're almost always using a multiple of 25,000, right? Maybe they're looking from 850 to 875. So when you pick a number like 870, not that there are as many people looking up to 875, but there are some. So I would be inclined to either raise the price to 875, especially if the actual price is 883, if that is correct. We're not going to run the actual price right now. But I would say either raise it to 875 or lower it to 850, especially once all the pictures and everything else is updated, right? When we scroll down here, we've got forced air, gas, central, 1 parking space. Again, update your thing here because this shows 1 parking space. We don't want to lose people that want a 2-car garage. It's probably a 2-car garage. Plus you have RV parking. You always want to make sure that all your stuff is accurate, right? 2+1 on large lot, quiet, desirable, safe neighborhood where the neighborhood kids congregate, ride bikes, and play ball in the street. This property is located by a very desirable area of Ventura with blue ribbon. Da, 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 da. Okay, so a couple things. First of all, you'll notice with me when I go da, 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 and you lose me. Again, that's most buyers, right? No, most people aren't going to read this whole thing. All utilities and pool paid by renter, adding an income. The heck is that? So as I'm scrolling through this, I'm looking for red flags. What this means, I don't know. They're advertising this as a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, but there's a renter. That needs to be addressed more in this property description. Does the renter have the whole place? Is the renter renting out a section of the home? Are they living in the garage? What the heck does that mean? It's actually interesting now I'm looking at it. The garage seems to have windows. Don't know about that. But we're seeing, and as a caveat, rooms are all oversized in comparison, which makes sense. Because we're looking at a 1,200 square foot house with only 2 bedrooms. You could probably have 3 bedrooms there without too many problems. And they have a lot of their personal opinions in here, how you could add an ADU. So, saying as is. Before I talk about the other stuff, I want to bring up as is. I want everyone here to understand that as is like the most silly thing in the world because as is means nothing. It means that I don't want to do repairs. But who cares about your opinion, frankly? It's what the buyer wants. If the buyer does an inspection and the place is a piece of junk and they want you to do repairs, then your as is means nothing. They're going to request stuff, right? So first of all, always remove as is. That's always a silly thing to put on there. It's silly, waste of space. But we have this giant chunk of text. We could really use more paragraphs because most people are going to have a hard time with this. But when we're doing property descriptions, what we want to do is we want to give people a warm and fuzzy feeling. We don't want to put in things that they've just read. 2+1 on large lot. What we want to say is, welcome to, what they call it? What's this neighborhood? Safe, desirable neighborhood. Whatever this community is, I'm not sure exactly. But you want to say, welcome to the Laverne community, featuring 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom on a very large lot. You don't really want to say safe neighborhood. You want to say kids. Discriminatory reasons, we can't really say that. But you can say like, welcome to the end of the cul-de-sac, or like drinking tea overlooking your great view, or hearing the birds chirp in the mornings. Whatever you think that the big draw is, you want to try to paint a picture and make people feel like they want to stay there, right? You want to make it feel like home. You want to put in things that are not in the property description. You don't want to say, this is a 2-bed, 1 bath with, 1,200 square feet, 1174. You want to put in all the stuff that isn't in the actual details. On top of that, you want to also put in information like the renter, right? And if you are going to throw in some stuff like the renter, you need to be really thorough on what the heck that is. Is the renter going to be kicked out before closing? Where does the renter live? Are they taking up one of the 2 rooms? Is the buyer expected to live in one room and rent out the other? You need to have all of those details in there, or else you're going to get absolutely blasted by realtors and other people calling and asking questions about what the heck that is. You want to make it super, super clear. And part of the problem here is that it is a for sale by owner. If it was listed, you'd want to put all of that information in the private comments so the realtor could read it, so it's not taking up space in your elaborate, beautiful property description. You'd want to put it in such a way that it's discreet and that your realtor could probably handle it. And put something in there like tenant currently on property, read private remarks for details, right? But overall, this property description does very little for him. It just kind of shows a bunch of negatives. Again, recessed lighting, skylight, cool. The other thing that you want to put into your property descriptions is SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. So when someone's looking for something online, like if you think about like best burger in town, Google then pulls all of the websites that seem to fit that description, right? So all of your big words here, like above ground spa, that's a good one, right? Maybe if we had like oversized or spacious bedrooms, full, I don't know about saying like full sidewalk in the back, but something along the lines of like no landscaping. You want to throw in all of those keywords that people might be looking for that aren't normally shown in the property details. You want to throw all of those in this block to try and draw as many people as you can, right? The big thing here is when we look at this in the last 17 days, this has 636 views, right? When I look at other listings, when was it listed? 17 days ago. When we look at other listings in town that have been on for about 7 days, if I were to filter this out really quick, because I don't want to lie to you guys. Property, home type. Nope, not what I want. How do I clear all my filters? For sale. Beds, baths, home type. Where is it? Not coming soon. And reset all filters. There we go. See if we can find one that's been on for about 17 days. Is one going to pop up right on top here? Let's see. 2 days. Well, we can look at this one that's been on for 23 days, right? This house in Fillmore has been on for 23 days, has 1,800 views, right? Compared to this one we're looking at that has 636 views. So homes that are listed and have good pictures and are being shoved up to the front without this weird stuff, they get 3 times as many views. And views are what we're after. Views translate to closings, okay? The other things that would really help this get more money, we really want to see a 3D tour every single time. Every good prospective buyer, especially if there's a tenant and we need to deal with like getting out of the way, we want 3D tours because that means we don't have to kick the tenant out for every single person to see what's inside the home. Uh, 3D is like out the bat, just in general, super important. Same with floor plans, so people can get a sense of how this house works. Because even looking at these pictures, like, is the garage even attached? It's hard to tell. But floor plan and 3D are critical, but they're extra critical when you have tenants. So that would be a huge value add to this listing. Everything past that, like, we look at the history and we look at things that are working against them. We always like to look at the history and see what this person's done, right? So they listed it on 2/8/23 for $875. Then they took the listing down 2 months later, and they put it up for $870. So this person's been trying to sell this home for 2 months, a little over 2 months. So it's not actually been on the market for 17 days. It's been on the market for a while, right? But the last time they listed it on 2/8/23, looks like it was listed with a real estate agent. So whatever real estate agent they hired, they probably got these pictures. So a lot of drama going on here. So as a buyer, is this a good buy? Well, you need to figure out the home value. But if you're looking for a 2 bedroom, maybe a 2 bedroom convert into a 3 bedroom, that's probably the direction I would go with this. This seems like it's a very underviewed, at least at face value, if we use this estimate, a fair value home that's going to be completely skipped over because of quality of marketing. Okay. So if they take those tips, I think they will do way better. So for now, unless anyone has any other questions, I think we're going to call it a day. What is next week? Next week is last week of the month. Nope, next week's the first week of the month. Oh, it's the 30th, not quite. So next week, I've got to figure out what we're going to do because we have a bonus Sunday in this week. So we'll more or less go over questions. Maybe we'll find a cool event to do. Don't know exactly what we're going to cover, but I invite all of you to join. And if you have any questions or if you see any listings that could use some love or you'd love to talk about on this live, or if you have any questions you want to talk about live, how to buy, how to sell, always show up every Sunday at 6. I'm happy to help you. And I'll talk to you guys next week.